Are you ready for fall? Now let's do some fall eyeshadow. And if you're new to 3D foundation, this is the best application method in my opinion, and I can't wait to share it with you. Hi, my name is Althea Gobble. I am an independent Seint Beauty artist, and if you are new to 3D foundation or to Seint Beauty, please let me know in the comments. I'll be glad to color match you. You can go to yes.altheamatchme.com and I'll be honored to get your colors and build you a palette. And if you're interested in hosting a party, I can do that as well. Just drop in the comments and I'll hook up with you. You can share, hey Janet, you can share this video as well. Any questions you have, drop them in the comments. If I miss your comment or your question, I will go back and I'll check them as well after I jump off the live. So let's do some eyeshadow. Hey Courtney, and let's do a few tips. And I forgot to put in the description, but I'm also going to show you some tips for applying 3D foundation on the lips as well. Hey there, how are you? Okay, so to start off, first I like to take a little bit of moisturizer on a clean dry face, but I'm just going to take just a little. I do all my skincare at night, but before I apply, I like to take a little bit of my moisturizer. And so when I get up in the morning, I just take a dampened soft cloth and just kind of go over my face because I've done it all at night. Hey there, hey Sadie. Sadie, I've got on Zaya today. I have on my joggers and my Zaya. I would have on my black tank that I have, but I couldn't find it. It's because remember, we're in a little apartment, studio apartment, and so everything is just like on top of each other, and I don't know where everything is. But so comfortable, ladies. If you need some joggers, wear them as dress pants or everyday work pants. It's wonderful. Okay, so I like to take a little bit of my Milk Moisturizer. Guys, you can't, this is the best moisturizer ever. And before I apply, yes, I love it. I love the, don't you call this the boyfriend cardigan? Oh, I love it. I have a black one and I have the cream colored one. It's like cozy and it's got pockets. So I like to put it on before I do anything else because a little extra texture here and it just keeps it nice and dewy, and whatever's left to put on top of it helps with all those lines. Okay. So now let's start with eyeshadow. So I'm going to do the Harvest Moon collection that's out there. This is a great collection of eyeshadows because you save $8 when you get the 4 eyeshadows together. And this is what the Harvest Moon, it's Butterscotch, Hot Chocolate, Angel's Landing, and Snowbird. These 4 colors. So 3 shimmers and a matte. Very pretty. So let's start there. It's a pretty fall color, and all these too will lead you right into Christmas as well. I'm going to use the Eyeshadow Everything brush. Actually, let me back up a second. I need to put on, I like to put a little bit of my highlight color on my eyelids to, zoom in, to give a nice little base. So here's my highlight colors, and I'm just going to take a little. And since these are shimmers, I'm going to touch up my brows too because I kind of wiped everything off from the day. Hey, and please say hello if you're new to 3D foundation. If I miss your comment, I will come back. I love answering questions. I know. Yeah, this is the reason why I ended up in the situation I'm in. I have 2. I could get a larger palette and put it all in there, but I like the convenience of these little small ones that with the 3 layers, and I just have my eyeshadows in one and I have some in this one. But I do love all the eyeshadows. They are very pigmented, very pretty, and especially all the new ones. Love them. Okay, so I just take a little bit of my highlight and I do a press and motion. I have very textured eyelids, so press and motions and put a little bit of that highlight color on with a small brush really helps. I used linen. Anybody could do linen on their eyelids. And what happens is because it's a lot lighter than my skin tone, it gives a nice brightness right there at my brow. So if I don't go up to my brow, the hairline with my eyeshadow, it's okay because this gives it a nice brightness. Yes, mercy, mercy, what choice? Dusty Rose is my first choice. If you just want to pick one right now, that's where I would go with that one first, and then Harvest Moon. That's the reason why I chose it now. All right, let me touch up my brows really quick using the Hotline brush. I like to use the indigo color for my brows. This is a contour. I'm just going to touch them up a little bit. I like using the contour for brows. I tried out a pencil, you know, and I gave it a good shot. I really did. It's one of those ink kind of pens and did not last, but maybe 2 weeks. I've had this indigo contour now for 6 months, and it's got another 10 years left in it, and it just doesn't, everything I ever use kind of looks kind of gray, ashy, cool tone. Almost all of them that I see are like that, and it just doesn't do well on me. And I like the contour because it's like a pomade and it kind of sticks to my hair, and my hair is what's lighter than the actual microblade I did, so I really just want the color of the hair. So I like using the contour. I think it's easy, it's in your compact, it's not something else I have to carry, don't have to stop and open it up, it's just all right there. So if you're interested in which contour works for your brows, just let me know, I can match you. All right, now let's do shadows. Now with these shadows, it's 3 shimmers. So I really wanted to make sure, because shimmer tends to, if you just apply it with no base to it, it kind of doesn't have enough power to it. So if you've got to either do some kind of primer on your eyelid, hence the highlight color, or use a matte underneath it. And I'm gonna take this matte to my entire lid and then use the shimmers. Shimmers are very reflected, so it's very easy for them to lose their pigment when just used by themselves with nothing underneath it. And this is in my opinion. But if that's what you're wanting, you just want a soft shimmer, you don't want it to have a lot of pigmented color to it, then yes, I will do that one by itself. When I just want to, sometimes just for an easy, a little bit of color on the eyelid, taking a shimmer by itself and applying it to the eyelid is very pretty. See how I'm just using press and motion? Hey, and I'm just taking that butterscotch and using the eyeshadow everything brush, taking it, laying it towards my face, use the length of the brush to my advantage, and use press and motions, and see, stabbing in those areas where I need it in the contour area, in the crease. And then what happens is that brush bounces up on that brow bone, giving me some length. This is what I see a lot of ladies do, is doing this, and that's fine too. But I feel like if you lay it towards your face and you get more length of the brush, you get a lot more work out of the brush. So this is butterscotch. Butterscotch, really pretty. You look at that color and you're thinking, I wouldn't wear that by itself, but guys, look, it's very pretty. Let me tell you something. If you're looking for a hey Katie, if you're looking for a lash serum for your lashes to get thicker and longer, I have a discount code for a wonderful lash serum that I found that I love. They gave me a discount code to share with friends. Share it with you guys. See, I'm just kind of pressing it down and getting it in there. And see, my eyelids are crinkly. Yeah, the serum, Hello Skincare, they did give me a 30% discount over the weekend. I don't know if they'll give me another one. That was a surprise. They emailed me. But I do have a 10% discount, or 20, which is a 10%. Okay, so look, that color by itself, and then I have that linen up there. That's a pretty eyeshadow look. I am going to take the small end of this brush, and if you just look down, take a little bit and put it into that bottom lash line. That's when I hold the brush straight out and use the point to my advantage right into that lash line, and it gives you a nice harmony all the way around the eye. Okay? You just don't want to go down too far, so sometimes if you tilt your head down and go into that lash line, it makes it a little easier, and that's when you want to hold the brush straight out and use that little point to your advantage. All right, now let's do the other colors. So what we have, I want to use in colors. So to me, in my way it looks to me, this is darker, touch dark, a little lighter, and the lightest. So I want to use it in that order. So I'm going to put this in the outer corner where I want depth. So this is what this color is called, Snowbird. So I'm going to pat using the end of this brush into the outer corner. So if you have hooded eyes, just look straight ahead, and you want to press like where you want shadow, lift. So just look straight ahead, ignore the crease, ignore the fold. It's been Monday all day. And tap it in there, just like that. That's a pretty color by itself too. It's kind of more of a ashy brown. It's got a little olive vibe to it. Very pretty color. A very neutral shimmer. If you're into the neutrals, I love neutrals. Do y'all like neutrals? Yes or no? Tell me in the comments. What's your favorite? See how I'm just tapping it in there? That is Harvest Moon. So now I'm going to wipe off my brush. Where's my paper towel? Here's a little tip. I keep a paper towel in my compact. When it gets grody, I wipe off between colors, and when it gets grody, I just throw it away and grab me another one. Some people use a towel, but I just use a paper towel and throw it away. Now I'm going to use Hot Chocolate is next. So I'm going to come straight over right in the middle of my lid and come straight up to the crease. So a little further down. Notice I went above with that Snowbird up on top of the brow bone, so it gives it lift. Yeah, I like neutrals. And this one, I'm just going to tap to the crease. So if you have a hard time getting into your eyelid, a lot of texture, it falls down a little bit, tilt your head down like this, and then stretch the eyelid and look down into a mirror this way. And that helps stretch out that eyelid. Hey, McKaylin. So, just using pressing motion because of all my wrinkles on my eyelid, just pressing that stuff around. Because if I just swap it, it's going to make it's going to move the skin, and it's going to be on top of the folds instead of inside the folds. And if you have oily eyelids, this is a good tip for you. I have used the Harvest Moon collection. This is Butterscotch, Snowbird, I've used Hot Chocolate, and that's what I'm using right now. It's Hot Chocolate, yeah. So if you have oily eyelids, putting a primer on helps. Taking a little bit of setting spray and dab it on there. But this right here to make sure, good evening. You have a great evening, doll. Thanks for jumping on. This is a great little tip, is just to make sure a lot of this powder is pressed in all the areas, and that helps with the oil. Now I'm going to use Angel's Landing is the last one, and I'm going to use my fingertip for it. It's the lightest to me, and it's more metallic. See that? Ooh. And I'm going to, you've seen me do this before. See how pretty that is? Now it looks a lot darker in the 10, but when I do it this way, and notice I'm swapping in one direction, it is going to make the eyeshadow, the little reflectant properties, lay on top of each other and makes them lay all in one direction, showing all of the reflecting power. Then I'm going to pick up the brush and I'm going to blend it just a little bit down into the crease. Now I'm going to take what's left on my finger and just a hint. Now remember, I've got the linen up there, so it sticks to it and it gives me a little bit. Now if you have hooded eyelids, you want to stay back over here with anything bright and let this stay darker, because you don't want to put bright all over top, all the way across like a rainbow, because that's just going to give you, bring it forward and make this little hood on top of your eye. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing with the Angel's Landing. I just take my finger, put in there, ha ha ha. And when you take it and you just gently swap, making it go all in one direction, it really makes it pretty reflectant. Oh, love it. Where did I go? Oh, there it is. And then I'm gonna take what's left and put it on the outer portion. Take my brush and blend it right into that inner corner just a little bit. Now wipe off the fluffy end of this brush. This brush makes things so easy. And you just want to take the edge of it and blend just a little bit. Everything, you don't want anything very segmented. You want it nice and soft and blended. Harvest Moon. Ooh, I love it. With that butterscotch in the background and all those warm colors. And you can wear all of these different ways. This is just one way. This is butterscotch. Now, if you want a little bit of a deep liner, I want a little bit of a heavy liner on the eyelid to make it a little more dramatic. So I'm going to use my Black Friday eyeliner, and I want to use the multitasker brush, and I'm going to take the small end of this black eyeliner. Now this is not like a wet liner. You can use a shadow for something softer. This is just another option, and I don't know how to, it's like a, it's not a cream. It's like a, how do I describe it? It's buttery. How do I describe it? And look, I went a little crazy, but this is what I love about it, because it's easy to blend. You saw that? Now, you see that harsh line right there? I'm going to take and soften it. See, that gave me a little more depth on the eyelid, especially because I had all the shimmers. Especially with the crinkly eyelids, taking the eyeliner from out here inward helps, because if I just keep doing that, it's going to pull my wrinkles out in one direction. Just be careful, don't pull out this way or pull down. You want to go kind of sweep up. You always want your liner to kind of go up in this direction to the tail of the brow, especially if you're in the mature side, because we tend to get little droopies right here and little folds. We don't want to follow that fold because it's just going to bring our eyes down. We want to ignore that fold, and whatever, we always want to think in the direction as upward to that tail to widen and lift the eye. And notice how I just flipped this over, use that little sharp edge and blended it. Another little great tip, if you're bare on the bottom lash line, take this Black Friday and do little dots right at the lash line, and it will make them appear a little bit thicker. And this is the Black Friday eyeliner. I'm not putting it all over. I'm just making little tiny dots right at the root of the lash line. And it gives you more depth. Makes them look a little thicker. Okay, now it's time for the 3D foundation. That's the eyeshadow part. Now, if you're interested in the 3D foundation by Seint Beauty, now's the time to hang tight and watch. Do you like the eyeshadows? It's called Harvest Moon Collection. Now let's get my favorite brush. This is a detailed hat brush to apply some contour. Now this is my favorite way, or I feel like the best way to apply 3D foundation to me is using a brush, because you want very little of the skin. You can go look at all the ladies I've color matched in person and look at their pictures, and you're gonna see, it feels like I'm dropping downwards. There we go. There, that's better. It's all about color with 3D foundation. This is very pigmented product, so you do not need a lot. It's all about moving color in certain areas, like paint by number, and allow the cream to be a part of the skin and just kind of tinting the skin. So I'm going to use the detailed hat brush. All of our brushes are double-ended, and I'm going to start with a contour color, which is a dark brown, and your contour is basically a shadow. So when you're color matched by me, I will find this color for you. And I just want to put a little shadow. I have a very large forehead, so I like to take a little bit and bring that light downward so all the attention comes around my eyes. So go and check out all the ladies and look at the before and afters, and you can see how their eyes are just brighter. And that's the craziness that I find with 3D foundation, is because it just brightens everybody's eyes, because we're bringing all the attention here, and every lady has pretty eyes. Now, do you see what I've done there? I've taken very little on my brush and I'm working it in the area before I go anywhere else. Okay, I find this is the best way to apply it. Here's the cheekbone. I just want to accentuate that shadow. Just take it right on that cheekbone up to the temples. Okay, wherever your cheekbone is, everybody's in the same spot. Just apply it right on that cheekbone. And notice how I'm blending it as I go to keep from having too much product on. That's the key. Little product. See how it's just accentuated my cheeks, lifted. See how my eyes are much brighter. Then you want to go underneath your chin, not on the jawline. Go underneath the chin and pull it down onto your neck. And doing this part, you want very little. You don't want to look like you're muddy or dirty. So it's just adding to the shadow there. Okay. Then contouring your nose. I take the same brush and I put it on its side, and I just add a little bit of shadow to the side of my nose. Now, if you have a very long nose, here's a little tip for you. Take that contour, and about right where your nostrils are, take that contour and make you a line right over the cross. And it's going to add a shadow there and lift up the tip a little bit and make it a little less long, if that's what you want. Then I'm going to take just a little and add a little shadow underneath my lip. All right, now that is the contour. Wipe off the brush. Yeah. Wipe off the brush, and now what's left is the beard and the mustache area and the ski mask area. So this is going to be the place for the highlight color. Like I said, it's like paint by number. And I'm going to start with my main foundation color or highlight color. And notice I'm just tapping, not pulling or swapping, because you want to prevent getting too much on the brush. And here's the beard and mustache area. You just want to put a little product in there, the beard and the mustache area. And then before I go and get any more, I just want to go ahead and move that product and press it into the skin with the brush using stippling motions. And notice it did not go over my hair. My brush keeps picking it up. Notice I'm not going over the contour. And I have very large pores and texture on my chin. So notice I'm pressing. Doing it this way really helps keep from using too much product where it looks more like skin, less like makeup. You will see methods in like applying it with your fingers and then blending that you can do that too. You're just going to have to blend more, and you're going to have to use something to help make sure you got it sheer and not too much product. Now, do you see how I'm just going now all the areas where my contour is not? So the ski mask area is what I call this. Have large pores on my nose, so I'm stippling and buffing those skin, the product into my skin. I'll get it right in just a minute. Between my brows. Notice I'm not going over to the contour, I'm just meeting it. And what I love about this brush, it's got a small end, so I can. That was my son calling. I'll call him. He doesn't know. He'll call me again, won't he? Now I'm stippling where the highlight and the contour is to where they meet together, so they blend together. Just like that. Notice I'm using stippling motions. Okay, now that's the main highlight color. Now I'd like to take and do just a touch of brightening, and when I color match you, I always color match you to 2 highlights. So I'm going to take a brightening highlight, and I'm going to use linen, just a little bit, and I'm just going to lightly dab linen over that main highlight color. I mean, we're talking, I've had this 110 probably for a year. This linen, and it takes so little, and I don't want too much in that outer corner because I have crow's feet and that would accentuate them just a hint. Anywhere I want a touch of brightening, so think the center of the face, down the bridge of the nose, top of the lip, center of the chin. That just gives me a little bit of brightness. Take that brush and stipple it. And guys, after a few tries trying 3D foundation, doing it this way, no joke, you can literally do it in the dark. Because nothing is overlapped. You just know everything goes into section, and the key is if you feel like you messed up, just blend. Now, to make sure you have very little product on, if you tend to be heavy-handed, get you a little sponge, a beauty blender, and use pressing motions and press it into the skin, and this is going to pick up the excess. Okay, I've got a new beauty blender coming. This is one of my throwaways that I have in my color matching kit. This is key. You want very little on the skin. This is unlike typical foundation and or mineral foundation. You don't need to layer it on. It's all about pigment. It's very pigmented. It's just about color. All right, so what you saw me use is 2 highlight colors. I use this one and my contour so far. Now let's do lip and cheek, which is part of your 3D foundation. I'm going to use Scarlet. This is Scarlet. It's a very matte. Yeah, that looks very frightening, very dark. This is another one of my favorites. This is Black Cherry. Look how dark that is. People are afraid of that. No, don't be. Love it. So I'm going to use Scarlet. And I want to put it right here on using the same brush. You could use a different brush, you sure can, but I'm just going to barely tap into it. It takes very little, and I want it right there as a corner of my eye. I want to come right down on my cheek and I want to flip that color right there on my cheek. So if you feel like you got too much, I've told you don't sweat it. You can always blend it out. Oh, yes. So I'm going to wipe off my brush and I'm going to blend. I just flip the brush over so I don't get any more pigment because I got it just exact. Oh, and that pretty. I love that color. This is Scarlet. So that big, bold red color. So if you have a lot of age spots, melasma, pigmentation, and right in this area, and you are medium fair, Scarlet could be great for you because most pigmentation has some green in it, and this is very red, and so, well, it is red. And what it's going to do is diffuse some of that green and that pigmentation and soften it up. And I definitely have that, and it works beautifully. I mean, look at that. It looks like a natural flush. Love it. Now it's time for some illuminator. I'm going to use my all-time favorite, Honey. I love the cream ones, and I'm just going to give me just a little bit. Now, I don't want to go all the way up here. Don't go up this area with your illuminator. You want to stay down on the cheek, right at the prettiest smooth part, rounded part. Put a little bit of brightening right there and makes that little fleck of light on your cheeks, and it rounds them out. Now you can illuminate to your heart's content anywhere you wish, but I love putting it there. All right, now let's do my lips. I want to show you a little tip for your lips. I'm going to go back to my multitasker brush. I'll have to clean it off. Where is it at? Because it's got Black Friday on it. Let's use the brush cleaner. All right, if you don't have the brush cleaner, it's amazing. Just take it and spray it right on the brush. Now watch this. All of that comes, oh, you can't see it. All of that comes off and takes it to new. Ah, yes. And then, okay. There, and it dries instantly. Okay, now let's see. What was I doing? I totally forgot. Oh, now I know what I'm doing. I'm going to take my olive contour. I'm going to take the, no, I'm not going to have, I can't talk and do this. I'm going to take the olive contour and the multitasker brush, and I'm going to overline my lips. Just a little. You just a touch, like where the pink part of your lip is, just on the outer part of it. Then take your finger and press it in. Take a little bit into your Cupid's bow. There you go. See, it just gives a nice little shadow around the lips, guys. Now take the Brightening Highlight. Well, we'll do that afterwards. Now I'm going to take the Scarlet. Now, typically I do a nice soft lip, but we're going to have a little fun here. Take the Scarlet. I'm going to take this multitasker brush. You could use your finger as well, but I want a little more control. So I'm using this multitasker brush. Is anyone here a red lipstick fan? Do you like red lipstick? See, I love how this brush gives me a little more control. Oh, girls. Please tell me you like red lipstick. I will do red, and burgundy for bold lip on me. I envy the girls that can do bright pink. I just can't pull off bright pink. Going into the crease. Sorry, awkward silence, right? Gosh, guys, that's yummy. Okay, that's just left as a matte color with that harvest and up on their cheeks. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Desert Sunset Gloss. And tap it on. This is Desert Sunset. It's a glossy. And you can overlap your colors. And this, what it did with that red, is made this beautiful coral. All right, then what I would do, my very last step is setting spray. And you would typically do this before mascara, but I already had mascara on. You let that dry. If you're more of a matte girl and you like, or if you're oily, use the setting powder and just set it in all the areas where you tend to be oily, or you can put it in all the areas where you put the highlight color. All right, and we're all done. I'm loving the coral lipstick. It's Scarlet with Desert Sunset. All right, thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. If you're interested in being color match, you can go to yes.outtherematchme.com. I'll be glad to color match you. If you have any questions about the colors I've used, please ask away, and I will answer them when I jump off the live and go back and look in the comments. And then just as a reminder, I use the Harvest Moon collection, and I'll share my photos after the fact. You can share this. If you have any questions, be sure to ask. If you have any questions about the artist program, I would love to share it with you and tell you what it's done for me and how I've enjoyed this opportunity now for over 2 years, and it's been such a joy because of all of you. All right, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Good night.